All right, welcome into Prop 5 on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, turn the notifications on. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me, Ethan J. Skolnick at 5 Reasons Sports. We got our guy Cesar from Big Picks Energy. Make sure you check out Big Picks Energy for all of your best plays. Use the code 5, F-I-V-E there to sign up. Make sure you secure the value. Both of us have been on a little bit of a run lately, so I don't want to jinx it, but let's see how this thing goes. We got our guy David Eversole, who is producing today. Going to do a couple separate episodes here. Of course, we'll mix in some NBA over time, but primarily focusing on the two big football games. We're going to get into the Eagles and the Reds. I almost did it. I knew I was going to do it. I told myself not to do it. I'm not doing it on purpose. The Eagles and the Commanders. It's been so long since they've been in the NFC Championship game. Eagles and Commanders today. And we do want to mention, of course, download the PrizePicks app. Use the code 5, F-I-V-E. You put down $5. You play 10, you get 50. So that's all you got to do, okay? So you're going to get $50 to play. This is legal again in the state of Florida. Yes, there was a brief hiatus, but they came back, and essentially the game is the same as it always was. You can still play up to 6 players across the sports. And, of course, if you want to pair any of these with NBA or anything else, actually, any of the fights, NHL, soccer, tennis, PGA, it's all on there. You even could play, I don't know how many cups of coffee Jimmy serves as a barista today in Brooklyn, where he's not with the team, but he is up there. We'll get into the Heat stuff maybe before tomorrow's game in Brooklyn. But first, later, let's get to the NFC Championship game, the first of the two games, 3 o'clock on Sunday. And the first thing I want to mention is you got a free square here. Now, you can only play this up to $10, so make sure that you spread it out over a couple plays of $5 if you want. But it's half a passing yard for Jaden Daniels. His regular prop was going to be 226.5. Of course, he's gone over that when he's finished games. He pretty much finishes. He gets over that all the time. But basically, you can play him up to $10, half a passing yard. So that's a free play. So let's see what we want to pair it with. Let's look on the Philadelphia side first. Cesar, what do you see?
All right. My favorite Philadelphia prop right now is Jalen Hurts over 7.5 rush attempts. There's this tweet that's been going around. X or Twitter, as you call it, Ethan. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's about Hurts team success ratio with his passing yard. So the less he passes, the more they win. Okay, the more he tries to pass, the worse their record is. So I'm looking at Jalen Hurts over 7.5 rush attempts.
7.5 rush attempts for Jalen Hurts. He hasn't been over that lately, but again,
he hasn't. But he's 60% for the season.
Okay, 60% for the season, going over that one.
And when we look at the Washington defense, rush attempts, bottom 10th of the league.
Okay.
Plus, weather may be a factor. I'm not sure. I like this prop a lot.
I like it too. I'm going to give you another one, and I heard our guy David mentioning this before the show. I feel like this is a given. Jake Elliott, 1.5 field goals made. Last 5 games, 3, 3, 2, 2, 4. Conditions are not supposed to be awful. We'll see. By the time Sunday gets around, of course, there's been this like polar plunge or all the rest of the stuff that's going on here around the country. But again, Jake Elliott is not, as David mentioned, doesn't seem to be affected by the cold much. He's kicked in it repeatedly. He knows this stadium. He knows how the winds work. And again, he's been over this prop each of the last 5. So 1.5 field goals made. Jake Elliott going to play that one over. Let's go over to the Commanders side. The obvious one, obviously, is Jaden Daniels because that's a free play, but you can only play that up to $10. So we got to come up with something else. What do you see?
Okay. I'll take a quick victory lap. Last time we streamed, we had a demon play that was given out here. It was Jaden Daniels over 1.5 touchdowns. I think it's a good play for this game. I expect high-scoring game, but that's not the one I'm going to hit you with. So the one I'm going to hit you with is Diami Brown over 3.5 receptions.
Okay.
Okay. Now here's the basis for this. Philly does have a good secondary, good defense, but he's not the main target. So I expect them to focus on Scary Terry. This is the only Scary Terry that we could mention.
Yes, we can't mention the other one who's scary to the Heat. Yes, no
Scary Terry McLaurin. He's going to be the focus. So Diami Brown, he's been heavily featured in the offense the last 5 games. Okay, he's hit the over on this mark 3 out of the last 5, and when he didn't hit it, he just got 3. So Diami Brown over 3.5 receptions is a prop I really like from the Washington side.
He's also crushed it on the receiving yard side lately. Number 45.5. He's been at 98 and 89 the last 2 games. That game against Dallas didn't really mean anything. He had 16. And one game before that, he was at 56. So, yeah, he has been consistently good. Looking at one other play for them, I would look at him too very seriously here. For sure. I kind of like McLaurin as the 7.5 targets anyway, just because I think that Jaden's going to throw the ball around a lot. So I would anticipate that. But the other one that I kind of like here is Zach Ertz, particularly if the weather is not great. 34.5 receiving yards, been under the last 2, but was way over the previous 2. This is against his old team.
His old team, yeah, revenge game.
34.5. The 4 receptions, maybe a little bit nervous. I kind of feel like you might get one big receiving play here from him and play that one over. But I kind of am trending towards your Diami Brown one as well. But of course, the Jane Daniels half a passing yard is the easiest one to play here.
Yeah, I will play all of these together. I got one more that I wasn't sure of, but I wanted to run it by you, see what you think. Mm-hmm. Longest rush for Saquon Barkley right now sits at 25 yards. Now, last game, he had 2 70-yard runs.
Yeah.
Doesn't 25 seem a little – he can't break a 25-yarder?
No, I think he can, and I think particularly if they do stick on the ground here and they wear them down a little bit, that he tends to get stronger in the fourth quarter. We saw that with Henry last week. The only problem was I lost with Henry. That's one of my few losses lately because he had such a slow start, and then he picked it up in the second half, and then he just never got back on the field at the end. But again, they were trying to come back. This will be a situation where I do think Philadelphia probably will be ahead, although Washington may surprise people in this game.
Also, Gibbs, the running game for the Lions was looking great against the
Commanders. It was. That wasn't the problem there. The problem was the quarterback. Yeah, I would say I think it's one of those that I would lean towards the fact that he has one. I don't know that I would necessarily play it, but I my guess is if I would say yes, Saquon Barkley is gonna have a 30-yard run or not, my guess is probably yes. All right. Here's not a guess. Where do you need to go? You need to go to Big Picks Energy, use the code 5 FIVE, sign up for their plays, and of course PrizePicks, use the code 5, put down 5, play 10, get 50. Very simple system there. Everything multiplied by 5, everything divided by 5. That's how we do things here. Have a great weekend, everybody. Of course, check out our coverage of everything else. Messi and company. The Heat will have some Dolphins coverage on there now, believe it or not. I know a lot of you don't want to pay attention until the draft, but we're going to give you stuff anyway. Have a good day, everyone.